Oh, it's Monday, everybody. Welcome into Northern Life here. Thanks for being with us here on this Monday. It's the boys today. We're holding down the fort. You got Mr. Ryan Half over here.
Hi.
I'm Hunter McCullough over here, and we hope that you are having a great start to your week. I know we are having a great start to our week so far here, Ryan. Life is good for the most part.
Speaking for the both of us? Or?
Yeah, I mean, I think I can. You seem like you're pretty happy right now.
Yeah, I'm very happy.
You're happy,
yeah,
right?
I'm happy to be here with you.
Life is good.
Life's
the boys,
great.
let's go.
This is a northern great life that we have. Certainly
There we go, more adjectives.
You know, what was not great, though, we saw some severe weather back on Thursday.
Yes.
And, you know, this guy here, Hunter is a fantastic meteorologist. Good guy, too. And one of the things I noticed is he posted pictures on his Facebook page, and he was off the clock. He was working the morning show. And so I thought it'd be fun to ask you, Hunter, you know, you didn't have to do this. You didn't have to go out and track the weather, but it seems like you have an unbelievable passion for covering these sorts of things. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Well, I appreciate the kind words first off, but those are very nice
You're
words.
welcome.
But you know, it's one of the coolest things. You can't control it. It used to scare me as a kid. So the fact that I understand it a lot better now that I went to school for 4 years and learned a lot about it, and I keep learning more and more about it, and it's one of the coolest things out there. Mother Nature, I mean, it's unpredictable.
Yeah.
It is predictable to a point, but there's parts that you just can't predict. And it's very crazy and cool and changes by the second. And it was so cool to head out there. That was the closest I've ever come to seeing a tornado.
Wow.
Saw the rotation in the cloud, and it was very low to the ground. So it
seemed like it, yeah.
It was. And if you're going to do that sort of thing, by the way, you got to be very careful and know what you're doing. You got to have an exit plan if there is a tornado that drops. And there was not a tornado that dropped, thankfully.
Good.
I did have an exit plan if we did have to leave or anything like that, but just one of the coolest things. And but what got me into actually doing like a career in meteorology, it was 11th grade. I took an aptitude test, and
Whoa.
meteorology and anesthesiology came up. And I'm like, that's a lot of school for anesthesiology, but I love performing. I love being in front of people,
Yeah.
and in front of a camera translates too.
I would assume that performing probably wouldn't translate very well to anesthesiology, you know.
You're going to sleep now.
Is my act really that bad?
Everyone's falling asleep. What is happening?
But very cool, very cool.
Yeah.
You know, I thought it'd be fun to talk to you about
That's
that.
awesome. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man. Thank
Of course.
you.
Well, hey, coming up today, we're going to be taking a tour at Duluth's Glensheen Mansion, getting to understand more about the history of the historic estate, the family, and the secret spots on the grounds. A big thanks to their team for allowing us into some of those areas you don't get to see every day.
That's going to be really, really cool coming up here. A lot of cool stuff at Glensheen always. It's one of those things that it's around here all the time and you forget about it. You want to go there more often.
Take it
sure.
for granted. Yeah.
That's for sure. And later today, bird watchers from around the globe are here in Duluth right now. We meet a few of them over at Hawk Ridge, the perfect place to watch hawks and falcons before they migrate south. Sounds like a couple of football teams that we're going to be watching here. The Hermantown Hawks.
Basketball, football.
Football.
A lot of birds. I don't know about any Cardinals. We'll have to wait and see. Blue Jays.
Yeah, there we go.
Things like that. But first, Hunter, I got to see Jersey Boys at the North Shore Theater in downtown Duluth last weekend. It was fantastic.
Really?
Here's the other thing, too. I knew a lot of their songs, but there were some songs that the Jersey Boys play, you know, Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons, that I actually didn't even remember were their songs. And it's some difficult singing. There's a lot of fun choreography. And the other thing, too, is I'm kind of showing my age because many of the people around me were more familiar with their songs than I was. So, but it was a very fun environment, and I would highly recommend go seeing it.
Were people actually singing along during the performance and during the play?
You know, a lot of people next to me were, you know, tapping their foot or you know, moving back and forth. I was too. But you know, the other thing too, like learning more about the band and you know the positives they had or the troubles they had. It was really a cool show.
It looks like it's a very good thing. They keep putting on these really cool things, and that's one of the coolest ones that I've seen so far.
Yeah.
I love Jersey Boys. And did you watch the actual movie? I think it was Clint Eastwood that directed it.
Yeah, back in like 2014.
Yeah, that was really good how he did that too.
That was some good stuff. So highly recommend. Hey, going from the stage to the screen, I actually had no idea that Frasier got a reboot. Did you know that?
I did. He's been around for like a year and a half now or something.
Wow, I actually did not know that. And so I was scrolling through our news channels and that type of thing and found that Kelsey Grammer is returning as the lovable psychiatrist in the second season of the new sitcom and says that the show's writing is better than ever. And you can find the new episodes of Frasier available Thursdays on Paramount+.
Oh, I loved that show. I loved the first. Niles was one of my favorites. The dad, Martin, was a Martin Crane, I believe
think it was Martin the dog.
The dog, yeah. What was the dog's name? Was it Buddy or something like that?
Gosh. We're gonna have to look it up during the break.
Yeah.
But the other thing I didn't realize as a kid, but it finally connected. We watched Frasier a lot growing up. My dad loved the show. That Frasier was from Cheers.
You're right.
Yeah.
It was a spin-off, kind of a weird spin-off because I don't know if
Right.
he was the most popular character on that show,
No.
but I loved Cheers as well. And have you watched Cheers quite a bit before?
Yeah. Norm and Friends.
Norm, you got Sam, what's his name? McDonald or whatever? McDonald?
McDonald's.
Yeah, is that what it is? Yeah, it's something
Golden
like
Arches.
Ronald McDonald, he was really good in that show.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Great stuff. Maybe somebody can piece us in on the Cheers history. For Northern News Now fans out there watching us at 12:30 on NBC, first of all, thank you. And for the folks at 6:30 on CBS, turn back over to NBC. That's because The Voice is returning for a new season tonight with some new faces. We got Snoop Dogg and Michael Bublé joining the coaching panel alongside Gwen Stefani and Reba McEntire. You can find it at 7, followed by the premiere of the medical drama Brilliant Minds.
Who do you think the Masked Singer is going to be this year?
Masked Singer? I think that's a different channel.
Well, they're bringing back Reba. That's super cool. Snoop Dogg's going to bring an interesting element within this show because they don't do really raps on The Voice, right? But
I guess I haven't thought about that.
I don't think they have.
I don't think I've ever seen anybody rap on The Voice.
I wonder if they introduce more people doing raps, and then you can spin your chair around. And then what does Reba know about rap? Is she going to spin her chair around?
I don't know. She might.
Maybe. Gwen Stefani, she could probably rap.
You know, if she's got good lyrics, like the single mom who works 2 jobs.
Yeah.
You can turn that into a rap.
You definitely could. Snoop will have to work on that. And good stuff.
That's why he's the coach.
Exactly.
Well, hey, coming up here on Northern Life, there's a big old house on Lake Superior. We're going to be touring the 39-room Glensheen Mansion in Duluth next here on Northern Life.
Welcome back, folks. After doing some research, Eddie was the name of
Eddie
the dog
the dog.
from Frasier. So,
Yeah.
a little mischief. That dog would always steal stuff and
Great
licking
character.
people. Great, one of the classic all-time dogs on TV for sure. On the shores of Lake Superior, ladies and gentlemen, the historic Congdon Estate at Glensheen Mansion is now a 20,000 square foot house museum operated by the University of Minnesota in Duluth here, and it's a very big house museum, that's for sure.
It is a big house museum. That home, completed back in 1908, is a crowning example of design and craftsmanship in the early 20th century, and we recently stopped by to get an education on how that beauty came to be.
Every time I've been on tour, I'm so shocked by, all the information that the tour guides know. So tell us about what it was like preparing to be a tour guide here.
Yeah, so it's a lot of working with the archives, which we have, and that includes like pictures, letters, diary entries, that type of stuff, and just getting to piece together all those little puzzle pieces that all those letters connect, and just getting to learn about the individuals that were here, their experiences. So Clara and Chester met in 1871 at Syracuse University, and they got married 10 years after meeting in 1881. They then, a year after got married, they had their first child, and over the next, how many years, 15 years, they had their total of 8 children. In 1904, they started thinking about Glensheen and coming up here. Chester worked for the Oliver Mining Company as the lawyer, and he also dealt with land speculation in the area, so this was kind of a natural place for them to come to.
A good retirement home.
So this is Helen's bedroom, and Helen is personally one of my favorite family members. I've been doing a lot of research on her recently. She did a lot of work down in Arizona. She built housing for low-income families that were also interracial, and at the time they weren't allowed to buy property, and so she allowed them that opportunity. She actually had a house here in Duluth where she took care of kids that were wards of the state. So she was just like a really cool person, and this room reflects a lot of her personality.
Yeah, this might be a stupid question, but how do you keep this place cool in the summer? There's no central air, is there?
No, there's not, and the fans.
It's all fans?
It's fans, it's opening up the windows. All the furniture in the house was done by the William A. French Company, and so it's all specifically designed for each individual room. And that does include secret compartments in all the desks. And this one's probably the coolest one because it has a whole little contraption. So we're gonna make this one pop out. If you open this drawer, there's a little button here, push in, and then this spring mechanism in the back pushes this out. and it would be used to have like diaries, letters, love letters, that type of stuff. But as I mentioned earlier, all the furniture was done by William A. French, and Clara did work with them, so your mom would have known about this, so it's nothing too crazy that you're going to be keeping in here.
Oh no.
This is Marjorie's bedroom, and Marjorie's going to be the eldest of the daughters. She's also the one that stayed in Duluth. But Marjorie's family is also the family that's still like on our board today. Her family is a big part to how we operate today.
Do most of the kids' rooms have their own bathrooms?
All the girls down here have a bathroom that's either just theirs or one that's shared with one other room, and then that's the same upstairs on the boys' floor. But the cool things about the girls' bathrooms, back then women weren't allowed to take showers, so you'll notice here on the girls' floor, the only shower is going to be in Chester's bathroom. So you'll only see the bathtubs here in the girls' rooms.
Well, I feel like a prospective buyer of this home. Is there an ensuite bathroom and all these?
That's the water pressure.
Square footage around it.
This is the master bedroom. In here we also get asked about why the beds are so tiny if you look at them. They were just a lot shorter than what we're used to today.
This is a big bedroom for me.
Yeah, seriously.
And I'm 6 feet tall.
This is probably the most like picturesque spot that we have here on the property. This was more so just Clara and Chester's like private balcony.
Some of the design that we had in a couple years ago aren't here anymore. We went back to the original because they've redone it many times over the years, but the fountain's still original. But we went back to those original blueprints of what we could find for the garden plots. So pretty cool. We've still got those.
It's also really cool being a tour guide because you get asked a ton of different questions, and then you get to research those and learn something new almost every time you give a tour, because you get questions that you've never been asked before and you've never thought about it. So just new stuff that you get to learn every day as a tour guide. I do really like history, and this is a pretty cool place to get to see history, especially from one family's perspective.
A lot of fun. You can find more information about the historic estate and their tour information over at glensheen.org. Would highly recommend taking one of those. It was a lot of fun. It's also kind of fun watching ourselves on a tour.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of close-ups on the old face there. Keith kind of doing me dirty a little bit, and that's all right, though. Hey, that's okay.
We're just intrigued. It's a lot of amazing history, so a big thanks to Delaney for providing that tour. You got to remember a lot of information.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on. Also, yesterday, by the way, my parents' 30th anniversary.
Wow.
They got married in Glensheen 30 years ago yesterday.
How about that?
There you go. Fantastic.
How about that?
We love Glensheen.
Some history.
Yep.
A lot of history there. Hey, coming up, birds. They're heading south. Duluth has the perfect spot to watch them say goodbye for now. We'll be right back.
We're talking about birds now, folks. Minnesota is home to one of the world's premier bird observation sites. This time of year, the airspace above Hawk Ridge on the western edge of Lake Superior draws tens of thousands of hawks, falcons, and osprey as they migrate south here, Ryan.
Very interesting. Derek James stopped by the Duluth Gem, getting a first-hand look at that hot spot for studying those beautiful birds.
Sitting or standing, bird watchers scan the skies from the scenic Hawk Ridge overlook in Duluth, spotting and photographing hawks and other birds of prey.
I would like to see an eagle.
Between mid-August and November, 60% or more of migrating birds take the Mississippi Flyaway, a bird highway from central Canada to near the Gulf of Mexico. Most follow the shore of Lake Superior, making Hawk Ridge an internationally known place to watch heavy bird traffic.
Hey, and that one's a harrier.
On the third full weekend of September, there's an annual festival where tens of thousands of visitors flock to see the migration.
It hopefully coincides with the push of the broadwing hawk migration, which is the raptor that we're counting in the largest numbers.
What does primetime migration look like at this location?
Every year, 60 to 75,000 raptors come through and hundreds of thousands of other birds.
Staff and volunteers of the nonprofit Hawk Ridge Bird Observatory have been counting the birds for over 50 years. Among them, lead counter Sean McLaughlin.
One Tennessee, yeah.
Who first visited Duluth from Pennsylvania 4 years ago, specifically to watch hawks.
Like 4,000 nighthawks that night. I was like, oh, this is sweet. So I stayed.
The count is about more than numbers. Hawk Ridge works with other hawk watches to better understand how the birds are doing.
Looking at accumulations of things like mercury in the feathers. Where is that coming from? How much is there? Forever chemicals, PFAS.
The observatory catches and bands nearly 3,000 raptors each fall.
This is a female sharp-shinned hawk.
And the education staff allows visitors to release them.
3, 2, 1.
How does it feel knowing so many Minnesotans and people from all over the country appreciate these birds and want to learn about them?
That is the bottom line to the whole thing. The more we can get people interested in what they're seeing outside in their natural world, the more they're going to notice when things start going missing.
How about that? I know Hawk Ridge always has beautiful views, so most of the time, I think I've been up there a couple times, mainly for the views, but the fact, it's such a fantastic spot to see those birds migrating is really cool to see.
Very cool. That was one of our field trips as a kid from Two Harbors High School. Yeah, I think maybe in middle school or something like that. But very cool, very informational, very good when it comes to the guiding up there, and got to see a lot of different kinds of hawks. A very, very cool area for sure.
Yeah. How about letting that bird go too?
Yeah, geez. She had that wing right there just holding on to it, and then it just flew on away. That was beautiful. Like a bunch of doves at a wedding.
Nature's pretty darn cool. How about that? Hey, in Wisconsin, marathon swimmer Melody Leigel has found a unique way to put a spin on her exercise and passion hobby. Leigel tracks her swims in lake country on the Garmin app, swimming in patterns that create words. So it's a complicated process, requires precise attention to detail. The 56-year-old has been a marathon swimmer for 30 years and is no stranger to these challenges because last year she became just the 10th person to cross the St. Lucia Channel in the Caribbean.
Wow, I wonder if that messes with her endurance because I bet she has to stop every once in a while, look at her GPS thing. She's not just continuously swimming, but that's still pretty darn cool.
I'll have to call her up and see if she can create northern life on her lake.
Genius, I like that idea.
That'd be pretty awesome. Hey, when we come back, we have an update on the story we brought to you last week, plus a quick look at tomorrow's blindfold. Hey everybody, a few days ago we were talking about how an Ohio 8-year-old successfully made it to Target in her mom's car. Now it's good to show because she made it there successfully, didn't hurt anybody, didn't hurt herself. But we do have video of that incident now. So a man driving to work actually caught the 8-year-old on his dash cam video during his morning drive. And as you can tell, not a bad driver for the most part, but there's a little problems here and there. Staying in the like that, kind of staying in the lines.
Well, she'd fit in New York. She doesn't use her blinkers or anything. That's perfect. She just yields in front of everybody.
The Chicago interstate.
Yeah, right.
Man, driving through Chicago sometimes on the interstate, there's some fast drivers.
It gets wild. I've done it one time, and that's a different breed of drivers.
Certainly is. Also, Hunter and I learned today that we definitely need Briggs here because we're just kind of crazy. We need somebody to keep us in our lane.
She keeps us grounded, that's for sure. We're kind of like that erratic driver right there. But she is, I believe, back tomorrow. And also tomorrow, I'm at one of my favorite places here. Ryan takes me and Briggs here to the Breeze Inn, putting us head-to-head against each other, seeing who can make the tastiest and best-looking burger. And the best part is we got to eat the burgers. It was
amazing. Best part, I got to eat them too.
That's true.
It's good stuff. Well, thanks for tuning in. We love you. We'll see you tomorrow. Have a great rest of your Monday.
Find some time to throw a line or just head outside to unwind. That's the life in the great North Woods. Hike or bike, whatever you like. Get out in the day, enjoy the night. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, we got the life in the great North Woods. Yeah, this is Northern